right. Hello. Welcome. Welcome on this Monday's New York Open session. So this whole week, I'll be dealing with the New York Open 7 to 9 ish a.m. and that will be the focus of this week. So yeah, we are starting in about a minute or two, so we are on time. Quickly recapping what happened during the London session, and we can see that not much happened really at all. Price was basically consolidating the whole London Open session and not doing too much. We will check what it did for the Asia, and we need to include the new week opening gap, which is quite a large gap opening in here, but nonetheless price couldn't really find its way lower right away. It came back rather quickly and rather naturally into the new week opening gap, and since then it's been gradually climbing higher, offering some discount sensitivity like here. I like to see that. I like to see the price not being able to even reach this level here, so that's also some way of discount sensitivity. And now we are pushing higher since 7 o'clock. We just engaged the consecutive encroachment of this new week opening gap. So I don't have like an initial, or maybe different. I don't have like a bias for today. I'm holding a neutral bias. I don't mind where the price will go, whether higher or lower. My gut, my experience kind of is telling me that we might see price gravitate higher towards the closure of the new week opening gap, but I don't know, to be honest. I don't really want to like bet the farm on it, but that's what I suspect is more likely to happen than falling off the cliff. But who knows? 10 a.m. probably or supposedly we will have the news regarding the blockade of Strait of Hormuz, so that might be also very impactful for today. Other than that, no other scheduled news on the calendar besides PPI tomorrow. So keep that in mind, that trading the day before PPI or CPI, you don't want to push, all right? So I don't want to do that either. So neutral PPI tomorrow równa się careful equals careful and 10 a.m. All right, so that's what we have on the schedule. So let's watch the price. Let's get the feel for it. Let's see how it does, what it does. I don't know what it wants to do right now in terms of like very obvious. The obvious levers that I see is the sell side liquidity here and here. That's something that's obvious, and that's something that is worth is worth mentioning. So I will annotate that properly, and after that I'll be just watching price do its thing and have some fun with it. So this is let's annotate it as too clean relative equal lows here, and we have very similar clean level right here that I also want to annotate. So we have both like very clean salsa liquidity pools here on the downside. We've most recently have taken relative equal highs in here, and we saw price offering continuation higher. All right. New week opening up octans in play. So that's the schedule for this session here. That's the plan. That's what I have in mind in here. I don't force any significant directional price run. I don't have it right now, so I want to be clear. I'm just going to observe price as it is starting from now until around 9:10 a.m. and then I'm going to end the stream, and that will be it for today, and I'll come back tomorrow. So I feel like the plan is solid, and yeah, let's see. So far we see price closing above this consecutive encroachment slash 50% of the new week opening up. We do see a large premium week right here. So this is something I want to annotate. This is something I want to use the 50%, and I want to annotate it as premium wick. Consecutive encroachment. That's here. So this level is important because that will give me some idea, some clue how we'll trade around that. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. So on the upside we have all of these levels here up until the complete closure of the new week opening up. I'm not saying that's on the menu today, but these are potential point of interest or objectives on the upside that I would reasonably expect or study today. And yeah, so this is about the time horizon that I'm going to be watching, which is 7 to 8 and 8 to 9. So inside of this time window here, we'll be looking for what price does and how price trades. That will also potentially give some idea for the next session and or even next day of trading, how we will be engaging that. But yeah, there's nothing on a table in terms of taking a trade. I have nothing literally that I would want to place a trade on right now. So if that's the case, then pure observation mode is on. And yeah, so the levels that I would possibly like are all noted. on the screen. So the sell side here and here. That's something that I like on the downside. On the upside, we have this octane here, which might be interesting. So far, price tried to trade into this premium week, but it's not even able to get close to the consecutive encroachment, and it slides below the 50% slash consecutive encroachment of the new week opening gap for this week. And because it's so large of a gap, it seems like that's the main PD array for the for today, tomorrow. For as long as we stay inside of or in close proximity to it, it will be impactful, I believe. So interesting, because they opened up with this rally like this, that could enable a lot of people who want to chase that. And if that's the case, there is beautiful engineered sell-side liquidity that could be that the price could use to offset that. But I don't have enough information to be like very confident about that idea. So let's see what we get. So we do have two fair value gaps, two inefficiencies, two BISs. I'm sorry. Let me remove the middle line for now. We have two of those. We have this one that we just traded into, and we have a slightly lower one right here. What? I can't do this or what? Let me zoom in. I want to place it on the low here. Yeah. All right. There we go. So if the price were meant to go lower, these levels, these BISs should act as what? Inversion fair value gap. So to justify that, we would want to see price close below an imbalance like this, and then respect the lower half as resistance, right? And then refrain from posting closing prices above the 50% of this inefficiency. So right now I'm judging, or I'm trying to judge and study if price is even able to trade below that on a closing basis, and if yes, then how it does afterwards. So I want to really like just study the market tone, the underpinnings of the market tone, to see which side of the marketplace is being worked on more. So we are tapping, we traded through this first BC here, and now we are tapping into this lower BC here. Because this one is like smaller, this is more of a fair value gap, so this should be more sensitive as a whole. And yeah, we'll see. So we did closed below this BC here. All right, we did close below it. So this by definition now should act as bearish inversion fair value gap here, right? Meaning it should be performing specific function in price that it should offer resistance in the lower half for price. So basically price should not be closing above the 50% of this imbalance now, if it's indeed valid, if it's indeed bearish in this area and moment. I'm not saying that it is, but that's what it should do if it were. And let's see what it does. Let's give it the freedom to prove itself, and not necessarily try to predict or over anticipate what it will do, what it will do before it really does anything, right? All right. So if it would be weak, it should have no problems to trade below the lower fair value gap too, right? It should have just easy time to do that. So far it couldn't even post a body inside of this lower fair value gap, and we are back into this first BC that was meant to act as potential bearish inversion fair value gap. The price did came all the way up perfectly to the midpoint and closed perfectly at the midpoint. So if it's bearish, it should react sharply lower here. That's what it would do, or that's what it should do if it's bearish. I'm not saying it is, but if it is, that's what we would expect. All right, small indecisive candle here. That's permissible. And now we want to leave this lower half and possibly trade below this smaller fair value gap if it's indeed more bearish. And what about this SIBI here? This SIBI should act as a breakaway gap. So I'm not expecting price to trade up into it if it's bearish. That's how I see, or that's how I internalize this. If it trades up there, it's possibly not as bearish, but nonetheless, relatively nice reaction here. Nice large candle dropping lower from the lower half, basically a little moho here, but out permits or allow for that today. And you traded lower, took out this short-term low, and now post a close inside of this fair value gap here. So if it's continuously weak, it should have no problem of closing below this lower fair value gap here, and then it should act as potential inversion fair value gap too. So what do we have so far? We traded up into this consecutive encroachment of the new week opening gap. We posted a large premium week above it. The price couldn't reach the consecutive encroachment of that, broke lower with a CB that was unable to reprice to it, so it left it as breakaway gap. Then it closed below this larger BC and used the lower half as resistance, and now we are trading inside of this lower fair value gap, already trading below it with a week, and now I'm watching how it can close. Possibly it might close below it. That would be pretty much in line with the potential underlying weakness that the price is suggesting so far with price action here on the 1 minute chart, MNQ. All right, so it did wick below it, but it closed inside of this fair value gap. So if it's still like more prompt to go lower, it should like lose the ground on the next candle. If it comes back into the range, it becomes more iffy, in my opinion. All right, so at this point, I would say it's permissible to touch the low of this inversion fair value gap, but it's better if it doesn't happen, right? If it wants to possibly be reaching towards the smooth areas in here continuously. But so far we are struggling to really get below this level on a closing basis here. So this is not inversed yet, because yes, price did open below it here, but it didn't close below it at all. So it doesn't apply to the rules of potential inversion fair value gap, right? So if price would now trade back above 50% of this inversion fair value gap, that would cancel out a lot of the potential bearishness or heaviness that could have been anticipated out of this price action here so far. That would kind of like invalidate it a little bit and would require like more study, more information, but that would be an information by itself, right? So it did touch the low of this inversion fair value gap. As I said, that would be viable, that would be allowed, but that's like the line in the sand that should send price lower then. So this little fair value gap here should be getting inversed soon, right? So I'm expecting a close below it, but apparently we failed to do that or to do so with this candle here. We closed exactly at the low, even though wick went below. So we can still see it like wilt below it, but we are kind of like running out of time a little bit. So if it's low resistance, if it's smooth, if it's clean, it's meant to touch a level like this and run away. So it's not meant to like stay inside of inefficiency like this. All right, so we did manage to close below it, right? So this inefficiency, this inefficiency here right now should act as potential inversion fair value gap 2, just like this one did, right? And the price should not be able to trade and close and like have like easy time in the upper half of this inefficiency. If it does, then that takes a lot of the underlying or potential weakness that we see so far. All right. So here I want to also bring a hidden level, so to say, and I want to bring the event horizon, and you can see that the 50% between this consecutive encroachment and this octane is right here, and that's where we traded into. We touched that perfectly with the wick, but the bodies are not closing below it, so this is an area where it could fail. So this is kind of like a make or break. If it doesn't drop here aggressively, it could fail, and it would key off of this event horizon. So let me annotate that. So this is the event horizon, 50% between the PD rays. All right, so it traded up into this inefficiency. It failed to close above the 50%, and now we are dumping below the event horizon on a closing basis. So possibly that's lending very well to send it quickly and aggressively towards those relative equal lows. That's what I would do at this point. All right, I would send it and clear out the sell side here and here. And yeah, in my opinion, unless we go above those, that's what I'm expecting. All right, so let's see how it goes. There is also this busy here. Yes, I see it. But because it's linked to those relative equal highs, this is also like an area for resistance. Broken, now it should act as support, right? So I like to see these type of areas fail, and this type of busy fail, and just smash right on through where the liquidity is, and it's here. Also, I'm expecting or requiring some speed element here. If it's good, if it's going for the sell side here, in my opinion, it did enough of work in terms of distribution. So we are in this area of potential second stage of redistribution of a potential market maker sell model that should be like really quick and sudden run lower, right? So if it's good, it should have no deep retracements, and it should just smash the sell side, through the sell side. And that's kind of what I'm expecting to see right now. So I can extend those old equal highs here. So old resistance, now support. I would say it should just smash right on through it, just like there was no ground below. That's what I want to see. That's what I would expect to see from price at this point. But obviously I might be wrong. So let's see. Let's see if anything that I'm saying holds any validity. Let's see. By the way, this is real-time market data. This is not replay. Very important. So yeah, if it's the second stage, the distribution about to take place, we don't want to see time being wasted. We could potentially enter some little time distortion, but to be honest, I don't see need for that in this whole setting. In fact, I would say it would be far better to just like maybe give it like a little run up into this weak consecutive encroachment here, and then just send it smashingly lower. All right, so I'm kind of like trying to use the logic that I outlined and how I would engage this, and I'm kind of keying off of this consecutive encroachment of this week, which was discount but now should act as premium. I'm incorporating the immediate rebalance here, and the stop is above the event horizon, so that's kind of like the idea. And if it's good, if it's heavy weighted, it should just smash right on through the sell side, right? And clean those relative equal lows from London, and that would make sense for me in here. And that's actually something that makes sense to me. If it fails, it fails, then I'm wrong, obviously. But now as we are approaching those relative equal highs here, I want to see price really like pick up some speed, some large ranges, not stall, not spend like a lot time here, just like really like lose ground, like 1-2 candles, bam, lower. Wouldn't that be beautiful? That would be beautiful. Alright, so I'm watching price stabbing below those relative equal highs, which were meant to be support now, right? That's support. So people are looking to buy here, and where they will put their stop loss here, here. So there will be more liquidity even, and that's why it would be very, 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 very logical and beneficial to just smash right on through and clear that out, right? That would be a banger. Right, so we are approaching an octane level here, and if I'm correct with my whole assumption, price should be having no problem to just roll over through it and close below it and just lose ground, keep on going towards the next one here, which very, very randomly aligns with the lower quadrant of that new week opening up. Wouldn't that be convenient for price to go there? Very, very, very suspect. But let's see. So if we take this sell side here, I will trim the stop loss to better than even, and I will see whether it shows any willingness to capture the liquidity here too. Alright, I like the close below the octane. That's nice. And again, we are in this area where speed is welcome. So no time to waste. And every up candle should bring more down candles. That's what I'm looking for. Looks like it's doing what I was expecting, or am I tripping? So this is the sell side here, and this one I will not extend. So yeah, I was king off of this little piece of information right there. Alright, so we got that, so I can trim the stop loss to better than even. And now I want to watch whether it wants to offer continuation through that. Because it's second stage, because we are running liquidity, I want to be aggressive about my stop. So that would be a partial here. If I had two contracts, that would be a partial. All right. So now let's see if it can melt. Or you know what, guys? I want to remind myself that I don't want to push too hard. So I want to actually close it here. And I will watch the price if it can go to that lower target. But if they would be playing some shenanigans today, which they could, because the global situation is still very iffy. They could smash it right on true higher and just take my head off. And I don't want to put my head on the table like this. So I guess I'll be content with enough, with small little piece of the pie. I already outlined that I'm neutral today, that I don't have high expectations and stuff, and still I was able to capture this little Benga trade. So around 30 handles, not much, yet precise, and it can make one smile. So not too bad. And now I can watch and observe whether price would be able actually to traverse for that lower sell side. But yeah, not taking something here would be potential waste of opportunity, and yeah, I don't need that. I don't need to be right. That's the mindset of a warrior, you know. So that's what we're doing here. All right, so as price trades into this inefficiency here, you would like to see it roll over. It does respect the lower half nicely so far. So from here, you would expect it to make this run towards the lower sell side. And it would be logical, it would be reasonable. And if this would be like a different climate, different day, different situation around the world, I would be more comfortable holding for this. And still it might go there. I'm not saying it can't. That's where I'm looking for, but you know, I wouldn't want to risk the potential turnaround here just because they can, right? So yeah, that if it goes there, that's a moral victory. If it doesn't, that's an actual victory, because then I did the best possible thing. But nonetheless, truth to be told, if I had more than one contract short, then this would be a partial, like guaranteed, and then stop loss to break even or better than break even, maybe even slightly above this inefficiency, and the rest of the position would be offloaded below those lows here. And that's how I would engage it if I had more than one contract. But again, I forgot to sell two. Nah, just kidding. But yeah, I know at this moment, at this very moment, when we see this large green candle painting and growing and getting larger and larger, if I have had not taken my one contract off at the exact low or very near to it, then I would feel regret at this moment. I would be like, oh shit, I could have taken something off. That's how it is. but because I did took it off, I feel I feel blessed. So that's a way better feeling to feel than regret or frustration or, you know, pain, emotional damage. That sucks, bro. You want to avoid that at all costs. But nonetheless, looks like we are having some fun today. We are really having some fun today. And it's fine, it's fair. Monday on the table. Alright, so because it went to the high of this inefficiency and now it left it, I would see this as a line in the sand. It should not ever go in the upper half now. If it does, the probabilities are decreasing and we could see it even turn or deeper retracement. But if it stays like this, it should be going from here lower. But yeah, I'm not trading this, just for observation's sake. That's a fair point, I guess. All right, and it's pushing above this inefficiency here. So yeah, I'm very glad, I'm very content that I got out. Even if it could go, even if it will go lower, I'm not risking my mental stability. So yeah, I think, or I even know, I know that Papa ICT would be proud if he saw me doing this, or at least I want to believe that. So shoutouts to Mike Lido, the author of SMC. Hello, my friend Erdogan, and I have an answer for it. I have an answer, and the answer is that I'm ongoing a project right now, and I'm taking one session at a time, and this week goes under the New York Open 7 to 9 a.m. and I'll be doing a whole week this week, spending time within this particular 2 hours ish window, and if I'm done with it, then the next week I'm moving to the New York AM session 9:30. So that's the plan. That's the plan so far. And the week after the AM session, I'll be doing the PM session for a whole week. And that will be even more fun, right? Because who doesn't like the PM session? No problem, Erdogan. You're welcome. You're very welcome. So yeah, price having some issues here, but it went above it on a closing basis, and it failed to show any inversion fair value gap signatures. So therefore, with that said, I would expect price at this moment, or I would favor price at this moment to make a potential lower low. If that's the case, it's likely to clear this out here. That's what I would say at this moment of time with this data, with this information. And if you note or if you look very closely, you can see the time, the clock in here, and we are heading to 7:50 time, and that would line pretty well with the idea of clearing this little candy land right here. So something to watch. I'm not trading this, but I'm observing this, so that we get this clear. But that's where I'm looking. Too clean, baby. Yikes, it almost got there. Ay, ay, ay. It almost got there. That must be random. All right, let's make a deal. Let's make a deal with the chat and the chatters, okay? Let's place the devil advocate that the price will drop below those relatively lows, and it will fulfill the idea that I was outlining here, and it randomly will just happen. Can we just make an arrangement that if that happens, you will join my Telegram channel? It's free, it's nice, it's warm, it's cozy. I mean, why wouldn't you, right? Yeah, I know, I'm playing dirty today. I'm a dirty dog today. You see this little inefficiency in here? I don't want to see this being closed. I want to see this act as institutional or referential reel of some sort and just smash this sell side. That's what I would like to see. I don't know if that will be the case, but that's what I would like to see. I'm watching this discount week consecutive encroachment here, and I want to see price dive on a closing basis below it. If it does, then we are going or having easy way to the sell side. If it won't, I would put a time stop on this area here and give it like 2-3 more minutes to do something, right? So this candle here piercing the consecutive encroachment, I want to smash right on through it and go lower. Don't play around, just smash right on through it. That's what I want to see. Clear the sell side out, and that would be a beautiful outline of the pre-market session so far. But let's see, because this is an area where we don't want to spend too much time. It's make or break. All right, it's stretching, it's heavy looking. It's approaching, guys, it's approaching, it's close below it. Just a little bit more, give me just a little bit more. Perfect, booked the quadrant, but I want to pierce below it. Do it, please. There we go. We tapped into this pool of sell side liquidity, and that kinda means I got it right. Nonetheless, I feel like I got lucky, more lucky than anything else. Did anyone saw me outlining that this might be how it will go, or no one saw it? Just asking for a friend. By the way, Telegram channel in the description. Free family ticket invite. I know, so quiet this chat today. Nonetheless, we delivered the both sell-side liquidity pools that I was possibly liking or expecting to be targeted. And with that said, right now I don't know what it will do. So if there is some smart ass there in the chat that will say, oh wow, so you outlined this like this and it went like that, okay, so what about now, what it will do next, right? If you're so good, tell me, and I will tell you that I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea, no clue. I'm not even trying. I'm not even trying to have an idea. It can go lower, it can go higher. Do I care? Do I sound like I would care? Not really. But if you do, then good luck with trying to predict that. And if you do, then send me the outline beforehand, because otherwise it doesn't count probably. But yeah, if it wants to continue this relatively close here, kinda like too obvious in my opinion. But I don't know, it could be done here also. It could consolidate, it could retrace, it could do too many things in here, so I could predict it very accurately. So I don't know really. I really don't know, but I'm willing to watch and see what and how price will be delivering after that. So let's see how it does. So we have this discount week. We've taken the sell side here politely, traded back into this, used as premium. The body's respecting the lower half. That's nice. And now price is traversing lower. Again, on the downside, that's about this level here. This is the midnight opening price actually, but the sell side basically resides at this level. So if it's going lower, then I would probably gravitate towards this price level here. So that's what I'm going to watch and see. All right, some sharp rejection here. 802. Let's see. Remember, there are large risks today in regards to the Strait of Hormuz and the potential blockade or whatever they want to do there, which can change the situation around like in a minute. So we are in those conditions where we can see a large rip one side or another, and it can come from nowhere literally, and we don't know the time also. So yeah, it's very dangerous. I would say it's very dangerous to like be holding positions in this climate, because yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they will want to do with it. I don't know if they will actually do the blockade, or they will say it, they will not, or maybe some ship will be hit. I don't know. Shit may happen, and that can like make everything fall apart in terms of technicals, right? It can just then do whatever it wants to do, and they can just take it one way or another. Nonetheless, um, taking it minute by minute, we've taken two large pools of sell-side liquidity from London open session. We came below the lower quadrant of the new week opening up, and so far we couldn't even attempt touching the event horizon. So that's also a thing, because we have an event horizon here as well. All right, so it's around here. And I want to note a fact that we haven't had a run on buy side liquidity since here. So all of this, there was no buy side liquidity run, and this high right there is where the all the obvious, very obvious buy side liquidity is resting. So it's above this high here. So if price will start seeing some closing above the week here, we might be seeing potential run towards the buy side here to get anyone who was short during this all run here, to just get them out. That's definitely in the cards, I would say. But yeah, I also want to note that the price is like starting to overlap a little bit here, a little bit more, which might bring some high resistance liquidity run conditions too into the equation. So we'll see what we get. Nonetheless, this is an area where if it's continuously going lower, it should reject that hard. But I don't think that's the point after this many sell-side liquidity pools being taken out, and now we have this obvious buy side here. So yeah, there we go. We are approaching the high of this week. High end of this range though. And yeah, in my opinion, the buy side here might be something they might want to reach for. Let's see. Alright, so approaching this fair value gap, I would expect price just quickly roll through it and close above it, and that would be like very meaningful and constructive for running potentially towards this buy side. And let's see if they want actually do it here. Just observation, just study how a potential run higher here could unfold. Yeah, so far looks really promising. It's not respecting this as resistance. It's closed above it, so it should act as what? Bullish inversion for value gap, right? It should offer support here and roll over the buy side. Alright, I like how it opened, traded lower, failed to touch the consecutive encroachment, and now expanding higher, right? So that should be a straight shot for the buy side. I would not require any additional comeback to this inversion for value gap at this moment. In fact, I believe if it does, then it's more problematic. Then, you know, we are still having this inefficiency here, which can offer resistance, right? It's also like premium from this high to low, but yeah, we'll see. This is pure tape reading. This is pure tape reading. Alright, so by the way, Danrick you the goat. If you know, you know. Alright. So it did came back to this inefficiency here, inversion for value gap. And again, if it's bullish, if it's wants the buy sides, if it's like really high probability that it will deliver that, the bodies should not be seen in the lower half of this inefficiency. Simple as that. So as long that's the case, I'm possibly looking for this. But the moment we post a body below 50%, I'm like losing interest a bit. That's how I internalize price here right now. All right, I don't like that price is respecting the consecutive encroachment so much here of this inefficiency here, and I would like to see it give way more and offer a run on the buy side liquidity here. But yeah, we'll see what we get. The sell side liquidity, at the other hand, is resting below this low here, which technically is relative equal with this one. So that's this side of the business, right? Assuming that smart money is only buying when it's dropping, right, and not buying when it's going up, I would say they either like keep it up high like this and just run right on through it, or if they fail and start rolling over, then this low might be might see a lower low. But here we've made a close above 50% of this CB, which I like to see, but I also like to see it maintain that. So I don't want to see price close above it and then quickly reject. That doesn't make it. But close above it and stay above it and be unable to close in the lower half again, that's good. and that's promising and like fruitful for seeing delivery or run on the buy side here then. But nonetheless, it's kind of tricky here and nothing that I like very very like or anything like that. So yeah, the next candle opened and closed below it. So this is not something I would like to see. So if I were long anyhow from anywhere here and I saw this close like this, I would be taking something off and trimming the stop to better than even ASAP, because it could turn here, it could like go back inside of the range. It's not impossible, right? So yeah, again, dealing with troubled waters, with difficult market conditions. uh, don't don't get lulled into thinking that it's so easy, so obvious at all times, and that the price has to do something. The only thing that it has to do is to take you out of the game. So if you are not careful, then it's on you. But yeah, we see the slowdown here, and we see price leaving this to the downside. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what it will do. Maybe it will engineer buys it here. I don't know at this point. I really don't know, and I'm just watching price. I really don't have anything or any horse in the race. That was the run that was reasonably uh, solid, but this here right now, I don't know what it wants to do. It could go lower from here, it could go higher. So is that high probability? Not really. Yeah, spending too much time inside of inefficiencies is a hallmark for sitting on your hands usually. Just saying. Just saying. Yeah. By the way, I wonder what a small streamer like me would need to do to enter the big league of streamers. Hmm. Could I keep up with the Joneses? Consolidating here. Again, buy side, close proximity. It could snap into it anytime, but that's not an area where I could frame any low risk entry, because who knows, it could retrace lower too, right? It could make even, or it could make even a lower low. So that's mainly why I would never touch it here. And if you're better than me, then yeah, go ahead, do it, show it to me how it's done. So far looks like we cleared the buy side initially, then we cleared the sell side, and we are basically back to the middle of the range at this point. And yeah, with that said, going into the 9:30 open, it doesn't like bound or land very well for super high probability idea, at least not right away. I don't know, because from the 50% of this range, it could go either way. Again, it could go lower, it could go higher. So that's an area, that's an time or opportunity to study the price again, same way as we did here, or as I did here, uh, to see and watch whether it gravitates toward premium more or discount or what it wants to do. But yeah, it's almost at the buy side, tapping into this week. So we'll see if we can get a poke above it. So as price went above this inefficiency here on a closing basis, let's see if it can offer any support to send it to the buy side here. Let's just see. By the way, any questions in the chat? This is the time for asking questions, because there is nothing in the markets that I want to engage on. So if you want to ask me something, you may get lucky and get an answer. Who knows? Who knows? If you don't try, you will never know. 830 on the radar, and Basel liquidity here on the primarily basis, and sell-side liquidity here. And close or near to the 50% of the range at the time. But yeah, it's not performing anything that I like specifically. It's more like engineering liquidity so far. It clearly went very close to this high, but it didn't pierce it yet, and yeah, it could still do it, but there is nothing I could like really frame an entry on to run that. And I guess that's fine. Nonetheless, I like how the bodies respected the upper half of this inefficiency. That's nice. Respect here. It came to it, it wicked through it, but the body stayed above. So that was nice. And we got the buy side here. So great. Very, very nice tapered example. Very nice. And yeah, again, somehow the price is just going to where I point them to go. I guess that's experience. I guess it really is. But nonetheless, let's see what it does after we engage this price liquidity. Can we sustain the price above it, or it's rather going to melt? Let's see. Because it took the buy side here, it's very hard to view this as support, I would say. It was also worked out a lot. So I don't know, but I suspect that this could like give way and see some dumpster cleaning some sell side. But I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, let's see. Seems like the blockade is about 1.5 hours away, which is pretty nuts. pretty nuts. Alright, so we've taken the buy side here. We traced back into this inefficiency here. No bodies were entering it, and now we are poking above this short-term high once again. This candle looks like them just sending the price continuously higher. Everything in here is super efficient. Back and forth, down candles, a lot of down candles. Taking short-term highs many times. And let me measure the range from high to low. We just hit 50% of this range right there. So anything above that, we enter premium, actual premium. So let's see how price will be diving into the premium. So far almost approaching the event horizon here, but not yet, not touched it yet as it is. I personally don't like to chase anything in here higher. I don't like the idea of doing so. But let's see, maybe it leaves something that could then act in the future as a draw or something. You saw all of this trend line liquidity here, like this. That to me is somewhat suspect. Me personally, I would attack that first, and yeah, that's what I would do. Watching if this could act as inversion. We went below it, so now I want to see the lower half being nicely respected. And yeah, maybe draw towards the trend line liquidity here. That's looking kind of too smooth. I like the bodies staying at the low. I like to see that. That's promising. That's pretty promising. Another attempt to trade into this. 15-second inefficiency. And what I want to see is failure to even get to the 50%. That would be indicative of potential run on the sell side here, I guess. So this looks like maybe, yeah, maybe. I wouldn't bet a farm on it, but maybe. Spending some time in here. I don't like those relative equal highs like this being left. That's never something I like to see, but yeah. That's more of a like a interesting study here, not a trade. Alright, so it's approaching the upper half and closing above the consecutive encroachment, which kind of like cancels out the idea about this run, and yeah, potential higher high could be warranted. But if this type of trend line liquidity stays after or at the open at 9:30, it could have been potentially interesting then to maybe wrap it up. But let's see, again, higher high, so we formed quite a few higher swing highs in a row with this nice sweet little trend line phantom. So now we banked the event horizon and we even posted a close above it slightly. So I'm watching this, and again, I'm not interested in chasing this long by any means. Anything that could like land well, in my opinion, for an idea is those relative equal lows here in form of a trend line liquidity type of thing. That makes more sense, but yeah, not necessarily offering any setup there. So yeah, I guess let's just watch the price until the 9 o'clock, and that would be like the time to cut the bait and consider this session as stellar outline. Yet there is difference. There is significant difference in the delivery of price that we saw on the sell side of the curve. It was way more precise within the PD race to deliver lower. This run up is more like just them taking it up by force in a sense, which I don't trust. All right. There is this small fair value gap right here, and that's something I want to note. And yeah, I leave the color because that's generally or like finally how I would like to see it act as a potential inversion here, maybe. So taking the fact into consideration that we have had no run on the sell side liquidity since we formed this low, which is going straight up higher and higher and higher and higher, taking buy side liquidity a lot, we reach the premium of this range and stuff like that. It would be reasonable to expect some measure of running sell side liquidity, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. That's all it is. Right, it couldn't perform the function of inversing this. So there is some underlying strength in inside of it. They really are looking kinda like they want to take it higher significantly, and that's how it feels, the price action alone. But I don't know, in my opinion, making some run on the sell side here would be beneficial even if it wants to rip higher. So that's kind of what makes sense. I'm looking at the consecutive encroachment here right now. That's where I think it's drawing to. And then we'll see whether it wants to trade above it or not. We still have the consecutive encroachment of this premium week. So above that, this consecutive encroachment makes a reasonable sense. And yeah, that would basically reclaim majority of the down movement from the beginning of the session, which in my experience, in my gut feeling, it kinda suggests higher prices. Just as I'm thinking about it, but I don't know. So large candle into the consecutive encroachment here, and it's looking like it's picking up some speed, and if that's the case, it should have no problem smashing through the consecutive encroachment here, right? And then they can take it wherever they want to take it. So where is the buy side liquidity resting at the moment? It's here. It's on top of this week, right? Buy side liquidity. So that's where the buy side resides, on the extreme edge. We are going into the 850 macro here. We are inside of deep premium of this entire range from high to low. So curious to see what it will do. But the little thing that I would like to make a notice of is the fact that price approached the 50%, and in here it was able to close above it, color outside of the lines a little bit, and here it closed above it too, reasonably easily. So that's suspect, meaning hinting potential bullishness. But again, I don't want to go too much ahead of the time. Remember, today 10 a.m. potential USA blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, and today is also a day before the PPI, so and this is not the time where I can be like flawless up and down. You gotta know your limitations, bro. You gotta know it. You better know it. Right, so we watched price tap into this BC here, right? If it's in fact super bullish, if it's in fact in rush, in my opinion, the upper half and the consecutive encroachment should offer strict support and send it with large ranges higher. And they could do it ahead of the 9:30 opening. That's what I would do. I don't know if that will be the case, but sending it omega higher from here would be interesting, right? Nah, just kidding. I don't know. That's just like my gut telling me that it could do it, but I don't know. It could also like have a deeper retracement too. So don't buy into this narrative too hard. But yeah, generally the line in the sand for me here would be the event horizon here. So as long as you stay above the upper half of this on a closing basis and we don't really close below it, then I'm expecting the buy side here and potential attempt to maybe even close the new week opening up, right? That would make sense with what I see here. Not saying that it will happen, but it kind of makes sense. And further further information would be required. So strict respect to this BC, staying above the upper half, and we might see it explore higher afterwards. I like how the bodies are respecting the 50% of the new week opening up here. That's algorithmic, and that's in line with that idea. So could be a banger, on the upside. Alright, so I'm about to be closing the stream. As I said, 9 a.m. is approaching. I want to give a shout out to Harley. Harley, you are the boss. Nice. If you know, you know. Telegram link in the description. Yep. Alright, so it looks like it's kinda trying to take off, and I would like to see it like stay like strong, stay like in the higher portions of these levels here. But at the same time, because there was no run on Salsa liquidity anywhere, I would like to have that behind myself if I were long. So that would be something that I'll be concerned in terms of, like, it could want to make a run on stops, right? There is this short-term low right there, but yeah, the 50% is being like triggered around. This looks kind of like a bull flag also, so this could allow for a little manipulation, a little play here. Just take it lower, clear out some trend line liquidity, and reject hard, and that would be potentially a way to go. And yeah, we'll see. I mean, no pond intended, no reason to stress about it. Whatever it does, it does. I just want you to remain sober-minded and careful, because there might be some wild moves still coming today. And by wild moves, I have in mind like very dangerous, risky price action that can take you out very quickly. And yeah, just be careful. Today, tomorrow, just be careful. Then I suspect Wednesday, Thursday, Friday might be a little bit less prompt to be dangerous, but who knows. A question from Soul Shift. What is the event horizon? Oh boy. I will tell you. I will just simply tell you. Event horizon, my friend, is a level, very specific level, that resides between 2 PD arrays. Whatever PD arrays you like, whatever PD arrays you have on your chart, the 50% in between those, that's the event horizon. That's the name of the PD array, and that's a PD array in itself. So I hope this explanation gives you an idea about it. And if you want to know more, then Telegram link in the description. Just kidding. It's just free. Telegram, nonetheless. Thank you for watching today. It was a pleasure. We did a banter session, I believe. It was really decent. And yeah, tomorrow, same time, 7 a.m. New York time, I'll be starting the stream. So follow for more and see you there. I wish you a pleasant reminder of the day. Stay safe, be careful, be solvent, and see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Thanks for watching. See ya.